Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
Willard Waterman stars as the Great Gildersleeve from 68 years ago, May 19th, 1954. Gildersleeve runs for sheriff, and we thank you for joining us on this Sure Happy It's Thursday, the 19th day of May. The day is finally here. 139th day of the year, 226 days remaining until we get to 2023. On this date in 1992, Dan Quayle gave a speech at the Commonwealth Club of California on the subject of the Los Angeles riots. Now, in the speech, then Vice President Quayle blamed the violence in L.A. on a decay of moral values and family structure in America. In an aside, he specifically cited the fictional title character in the TV program Murphy Brown as an example of how popular culture contributed to this poverty of values, saying,
It doesn't help matters when primetime TV has Murphy Brown, a character who supposedly epitomizes today's intelligent, highly paid professional woman, mocking the importance of fathers by bearing a child alone and calling it just another lifestyle choice.
Quayle drawing a firestorm of criticism from feminists and liberal organizations, widely ridiculed by nationwide talk show hosts, late-night hosts. The Murphy Brown speech and the resulting media coverage damaged the Republican ticket in the 1992 presidential election, became one of the most memorable incidents of the 1992 campaign. Now, long after the outcry ended, the comment continued to have an effect on U.S. politics. In the 1992-93 season premiere of Murphy Brown, Brown, the character, watched Quayle's comments on TV, responded on their fictional news show FYI. Later in the episode, she hired a truck to dump 1,000 potatoes on Quayle's doorstep. You remember that Dan Quayle misspelled potato, P-O-T-A-T-O-E. And Bergen said in 2002, who played Murphy Brown, I've never really said much about the whole episode, which was endless, but his speech was a perfectly intelligent speech about fathers not being dispensable. And no one agreed with that more than I did. Let's think about that for just a moment, shall we? Okay, moving on. Anne Boleyn beheaded on this date in 1536, the second wife of King Henry VIII. Now, in 1643 on this date, the colonies of Massachusetts Bay, Plymouth, Connecticut, and New Harborment met to form the New England Confederation. Congress passing the Emergency Quota Act on this date in 1921, establishing national quotas for immigrants. In 1928, the first annual Calaveras County Frog Jumping Jubilee held in Angels Camp, California in 1928. British actor and soldier T.E. Lawrence, also known as Lawrence of Arabia, died from injuries sustained in a motorcycle crash. Oh, it was on this date in 1962, one of our few exceptions to singing on this show, apart from me, Marilyn Monroe on this date in 1962 sang Happy Birthday to President Kennedy at a celebration of his 45th birthday 10 days before the actual date.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you. Thanks, Mr. President, for all the things you've done, the battles that you've won, the way you deal with U.S. Steel and our problems by the ton. We thank you so much. Everybody, happy birthday!
President of the United States. I can now retire from politics after having had Happy Birthday sung to me in such a sweet, wholesome way.
Yeah, Marilyn Monroe in a skin-tight dress, yeah. It was announced on this date in 1964. Soviet Union bugged embassies throughout Russia, including the U.S. Embassy.
During the past month, a network of microphones has been found embedded in the walls of the American Embassy in Moscow and has been removed and destroyed. Today, U.S. Ambassador Foy Kohler delivered a formal protest about this matter to the Soviet government.
Secretary of State Dean Rusk, in February, State Department recalled one of its security technicians for conferences, which led to a decision to demolish a room in the Moscow Embassy in April, where the microphones were found. The 27th Amendment to the Constitution went into effect on this date in 1992. That prohibited Congress from giving itself midterm raises. Passing away on this date in history, composer Charles Ives, actor Ronald Colman, poet Ogden Nash, First Lady Jacqueline Bouvier Kennedy, actor Candy Candido, the guy who said, I'm feeling mighty low. Was wonderful with that. Also, the lead singer of the band Freddie and the Dreamers, Freddie Garrity. Alan Young, a very, very funny man. So much more than what you saw in Mr. Ed. And we've aired a few of his old-time radio shows as well. And journalist Morley Safer, all passing away on this date. Among people born on this date, me. Yes, I turned 66 years old today. And I was born on the same date as such people as Ho Chi Minh, the trailblazer of Vietnam, dictator mass murderer Pol Pot, and Malcolm X.
One of my reasons for going out on the limb as I have is to try and make white people be shocked, awake to some of their senses. Because if they don't awake, they're going to find out that this little Negro that they thought was passive has become a roaring, uncontrollable lion inside their house, in their bed, in their kitchen, in their attic, in their basement. And if you know that in time, you can do something about it.
Also born on this date, I share a birthday with O.J. Simpson's murdered ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson. The woman behind Sleepless in Seattle, You've Got Mail, Michael and Heartburn, Nora Ephron. Andre the Giant born on this date. The man who just dropped in to see what my condition was in with the first edition and an American trilogy. Singer-songwriter Mickey Newberg. The original Chewbacca, Peter Mayhew. For the man from the News Hour with Jim Lehrer. Jim Lehrer, also born on this date. Hosted Good Morning America for 11 years. David Hartman, 87 today. From the Flower Drum Song and the World of Susie Wong, Nancy Kwan is 83. The Who's, Peter Townsend, 77 today. Oh, Grace Jones, Slave to the Rhythm, 74. Saxophonist Tom Scott is 74 as well. Singer Jordan Pruitt is 31. And the man who had a number 2 song in the U.S., number 1 in Britain in 2014, Stay With Me, Sam Smith, is 30. Those some of the people who celebrate, along with me, the 19th day of May is their birthday. And if this happens to be your birthday...
Hi, we're the 4 freshmen, and we just want to say... Happy birthday to you.
Now, from 68 years ago today, 2 years before I was born, Willard Waterman is the great Gildersleeve. On this Thursday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite station.
Let's see, if something costs less, but people are happier with it, that sounds like something to look into, and that's MediShare. Maybe you've heard switching to MediShare to pay for healthcare can save the typical family $500 a month. And that's huge, but it's also true that people are way more satisfied after making the switch, too. The customer satisfaction rate for Medishare is double that of the typical health insurance plan. Double. Medishare works. It's been around for more than a quarter century, and members have shared more than $3 billion of each other's bills. People love having telehealth and a huge nationwide PPO network. So, yeah, you can save a ton and like it better. Imagine being happy with how you're taking care of your health care. So if you're self-employed or part of the gig economy, or you just want a plan you're happy with, you can call right now and get a price within 2 minutes. A very, very smart use of 2 minutes. Here's the number you need. 833-34-BIBLE. That's 833-34-BIBLE. 833-34-BIBLE.
The buy one, get one free special going on now at MyPillow. MyPillow bed sheets, Giza Elegance MyPillows, the roll and go anywhere MyPillows, and 6-piece towel sets on special. Go to mypillow.com/USA, use promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175 and find out all the great deals you can get right now at MyPillow. mypillow.com/USA. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 68 years, May 19th, 1954, Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve.
The Kraft Foods Company, makers of Kraft all-purpose oil and liquid shortening, presents Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve. Well, let's see what's doing in Summerfield. People who know the Great Gildersleeve don't think it too unusual that tonight his car is parked in front of the Women's Club. As a matter of fact, he's made arrangements to pick up the attractive school principal, Miss Irene Henshaw, so here he is with his motor running.
Yeah, I wish they'd break up the meeting. My engine's getting hot. Yeah, I guess I should have drained the antifreeze. It's almost June. Well, here she comes. Irene has such a graceful walk.
Hello, Throckmorton.
Hello, Irene.
You tired waiting?
Well, I never like to be kept waiting to see you.
That's very nice. Oh, dear. This is the most uncomfortable seat. Is something wrong with this cushion?
Well, I need new upholstery. The spring came untied on that end.
Oh.
You better sit over here close to me.
You didn't untie it, did you?
Shall we take a little spin?
I think you'd better take me home. It was a long meeting.
Oh, what were you women talking about?
We were discussing the candidates we'd support in the elections this year.
Oh?
You know, it's the strangest thing. Nobody's running for sheriff.
Not even Sheriff Nicholson?
He's retiring.
Well, Nick's had it quite a while. He's used up a lot of silver polish on that badge of his.
We need a sheriff who is young and vigorous, a strong personality.
True.
A crusader. Someone who isn't afraid to turn the spotlight into dark places.
Speaking of spotlights, there's a big moon tonight.
Throckmorton P. Gildersleeve, have you any idea what I'm talking about?
Sure, you're looking for a sheriff. One with the big spotlight.
Now be serious. The sheriff's office is a great opportunity for somebody. As a matter of fact, you might well consider it yourself.
Me? Sheriff?
Why not? You're well-known, popular.
Well, yes.
It would be a step up.
Yeah, it would.
Throckmorton, you could easily be our next sheriff. Will you think about it?
There's nothing wrong with thinking about it.
Splendid.
Of course, if I'm sheriff, I'll have to have this front seat fixed. Self-respecting lawbreakers wouldn't ride in this car. Yes, Leroy.
You're home early.
Well, Irene was a little tired tonight.
Of you?
Of course not. My dates never get tired of me. Leroy.
Only kidding.
What are you doing up?
I just finished my homework.
Good boy. What do you say we go raid Bertie's refrigerator?
I'm way ahead of you, Unc.
You get some plates. I'll get out the food.
Okay.
This is a kind of a reward, Leroy, for you doing your homework. It isn't that I'm hungry.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy, do those chicken wings look good.
Leroy, is that you in my refrigerator?
Oop, Bertie caught us.
You didn't catch me. You're in the refrigerator.
Why, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Just counting the chicken wings.
Here, let me dish it up for you.
Thank you, Bertie.
Pile up the plates, Bertie. As long as we're caught, let's make it worthwhile.
Well, we won't do this again.
You're home early, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yeah, Miss Henshaw was tired after a meeting at the Women's Club. They're looking for a sheriff.
What's the matter? Did they get robbed?
No, it just happens that there's no likely candidate for sheriff this fall.
No, sir.
Why don't they get somebody from out of town, like Roy Rogers?
Well, believe it or not, Miss Henshaw suggested I become sheriff.
You?
I believe it.
I don't.
Why not?
Gosh, I just always think of you as water commissioner.
Well, that was my first reaction. But being a sheriff is a bigger job.
Yes, sir. That's a big job. Sheriff Gildersleeve.
Hey, that sounds pretty good. Imagine, my uncle, a sheriff. Can I carry your handcuffs?
Not so fast, my boy. I haven't even decided to run.
Unc, you gotta run. I can see you on a horse now, leading parades.
Well...
Yes, sir, and your picture would be in the paper every few days with dignitaries and people like that.
Oh, I've had my picture in the paper, Bertie.
Yeah, but you just happened to be holding the mayor's coat while he laid a cornerstone.
Well, I'll admit being sheriff is a glamorous, exciting kind of job.
Hey, you'd even have a siren on your car.
You bet.
Boy, would I blast the kids when we went by.
We'd only use the siren in emergencies.
Then you're going to run, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, if enough people want me, like the women do.
I'm behind you, Unc.
Me too.
I might talk to Bronco in the morning, get him to feel out his organization. It's active in politics.
Sure. Get the junior thinkers behind you.
Right, George, I'll do it.
Tell them if they don't support you, they're not thinkers, they're...
Yeah, there's Bronco about to leave for the office. I think I'll step across and speak to him now. Yeah, I'm going to run for sheriff. It won't hurt to have my niece's husband get the junior thinkers behind me. Good morning, Bronco.
Oh, hello, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Can I give you a ride to town this morning, Bronco, my boy?
Oh, Mr. Gildersleeve, we go to work in different directions.
Well, I thought I might drive you out to the plant. We could talk about things.
Oh, thanks. No, I'll need my car today. Oh, what's on your mind?
Well, it's election year, you know. I've been giving a lot of thought to possible candidates I'll support. All of us should.
Oh?
Yeah, that goes for me, you, and splendid organizations like your junior thinkers.
Oh, don't you worry. We've been putting the candidates under the microscope.
Good for you. When you were looking in the microscope, you didn't happen to see a likely candidate for sheriff wiggling around, did you?
No, that's wide open.
You're still president, aren't you?
This is my third term.
Yeah, those thinkers know what they're doing.
Oh, well, I will say I had very little opposition after my first term and none for my third. Yeah, Mr. Gildersleeve, you should have seen it. The Elks Club banquet hall was full of junior thinkers, and I was elected by acclamation. Yeah, a standing ovation. And in my acceptance speech, I told them, fellow thinkers...
Yeah, wait, Bronco, wait a minute. We aren't talking about thinkers. We're talking about the next sheriff.
What?
I was about to say, as a popular president, you might be able to make a strong recommendation.
Oh, yes, I could.
Of course, you couldn't recommend somebody you don't know well.
No.
Yeah, you have too much principle for that. So you might play it safe and recommend a relative.
Who?
Well, think hard. Who's in the public eye and knows what's going on at City Hall?
My cousin Tom, the window washer?
Bronco, you're joking.
Well, the only other relative I can think of who's in the public eye is you.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I can't imagine that. Oh, Sheriff Gildersleeve. Oh, that's very...
What's so funny?
Well, it's just that I know you'd never run for sheriff. Oh, you're too set in the waterworks.
Well, on the contrary, I'm seriously thinking of running. The Women's Club has practically endorsed me.
Oh, they have?
Yeah, at least Miss Henshaw has.
Well, I didn't realize you'd given some thought to this.
You bet. Yeah, how about mentioning me to the junior thinkers? I know today is your meeting day.
Well, I'll be glad to, Mr. Gildersleeve. Yeah, I'll give you a big build-up.
Great.
See you later.
Bronco.
Yeah?
After I'm sheriff, don't let me catch you parked so close to that fire plug.
I don't have to worry. The sheriff's my relative.
Yeah, it's a little early in the afternoon. I've done enough work for the water department. I think I'll stop in and see Peavy. He'll be surprised to hear I'm running for sheriff. Hello, Peavy.
Hello, Mr. Gildersleeve. What can I do for you today?
Well, you can vote for me, Peavy.
How's that?
And Mrs. Peavy can vote for me.
I wouldn't count on Mrs. Peavy.
What?
She never votes for a pig in a poke.
What are you saying?
Well, we don't know what you're running for.
Well, they're plugging me for sheriff.
Well, that's a good way to get plugged.
No, Peavy, you're thinking of the old Western days. The modern sheriff is more of an executive.
Yes.
Of course, I'd have to head up all the parades and be in the news a lot.
Well, I imagine you'd be in the news.
Yeah, I'd have to make public appearances, like getting in theaters and ball games free to keep my eyes on things.
Well, if you need an extra private eye, I'll go to the ball games with you any day.
From 68 years ago, May 19th, 1954, Willard Waterman, the Great Gildersleeve, on this Thursday, Classic Radio Theater.
No offense, but are you a little fat when you look in the mirror? How would you like to learn the secrets to lose 3 to 5 pounds a week easily without joining the gym or going through any crazy diets? It's called Body Sculpt by Med Diet. For the last 2 decades, we've been helping people just like you that have pounds they want to shed. We've helped millions of people lose thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. And now it's your turn. Learn the secrets of how to lose weight with one simple phone call. You'll see an amazing difference in a matter of days. Don't believe us? We'll offer you a money-back guarantee. If you're ready to start losing weight right now, call right now to learn more about your risk-free order to Body Sculpt.
Call for your risk-free offer. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. 800-738-5332. That's 800-738-5332.
Are you in bad pain? You know what I mean. Your knees hurt. Your shoulder hurts. Your elbow and back are constantly killing you. And I'm sure you've tried every pain pill or cream available at the drugstore. Am I right? Well, here's something you haven't tried. Pain Magic. Pain Magic is not available at any drugstore. The only place you can get it is by calling the special toll-free number I'm about to give you.
And to make things even better, call right now and find out about our buy one, get one free offer. We're so confident it'll work for you that we offer a free bottle with your purchase. No prescription required.
Call now to learn how you can get Pain Magic and get rid of your pain. Remember, your results may vary.
800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. 800-492-8164. That's 800-492-8164.
Thanks for tuning in to Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox here on your favorite station, an episode of The Great Gildersleeve starring Willard Waterman, as it was originally broadcast Wednesday, May 19th, 1954. In the newspapers of that Wednesday 68 years ago, these were some of the headlines. The White House stood pat for the time being yesterday on a presidential order that left the McCarthy Army hearings dangling somewhere between temporary and permanent eclipse. The order instructed high administration officials not to talk to Senate investigators about their discussions of the blazing controversy between the Republican senator from Wisconsin and top men in the Army. The White House made it rather clear there are slim chances, if any, that President Eisenhower will alter the instructions. Presidential Press Secretary James C. Hagerty told reporters that the president issued his letter yesterday, period. That seemed to be another way of saying that Eisenhower wasn't retreating an inch from his contention that any senatorial inquiry into conferences within the administration on the big controversy goes against the fundamental constitutional principles of separation of powers. The vice conviction of Olio heir Minot F. Mickey Jelke was reversed yesterday on grounds he was denied a fair and impartial trial because the public and press were barred from the courtroom while the prosecution presented its case. The appellate division of the state Supreme Court criticized the trial judge for trying to dictate what portion of the court proceedings should be printed in the newspapers. It also charged the half-open, half-closed trial was an unwarranted procedure because it placed an additional burden upon the defendant. A State Department spokesman said yesterday the reported shipment of a large quantity of communist arms to Red-infiltrated Guatemala a threat to the security of the Western Hemisphere. The Republican congressman from California, Patrick J. Hillings, told the House the arms apparently are for use in sabotaging the Panama Canal if this country intervenes in Southeast Asia. He said it also showed the nation is faced with communist aggression on its own doorstep. Hilling said the government should protest immediately to Moscow and act to bolster the anti-communist movements in Central America. The Panama Canal about 725 air miles from the nearest point on the Guatemalan border. President Eisenhower yesterday asked for progress reports on coming moves to end public school segregation in the District of Columbia. Officials said the capital school system may be made a sort of pilot model to help guide states in the historic switchover. Now, many Southern leaders are up in arms over the Supreme Court ruling that it's unconstitutional to educate white and Negro children in separate public schools. Some have come close to open defiance of the decision. Eisenhower talked at the White House with the Board of Commissioners for the District of Columbia. Afterwards, Samuel Spencer, president of the board, reported the president asked to be kept in touch with the progress made toward an integrated system here where Negro pupils outnumber the white in public schools. In Florida, acting Governor Charlie E. John said he sees no immediate need for a special legislative session on school segregation, but he wouldn't hesitate to call one if it appeared necessary. And in Georgia, Attorney General Eugene Cook said yesterday he expects 7 states to join Georgia in refusing to take part in the U.S. Supreme Court hearings on how the public school segregation ban will be enforced. Cook's decision to boycott the October hearings, tentatively approved by Governor Herman Talmadge, who hinted broadly that Georgia might once more defy the High Court. And those some of the day's top news stories as reported in the newspapers of Wednesday, May 19th, 1954, on your radio, The Great Gildersleeve, which continues now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
What kind of a sheriff you think I'd make? You haven't expressed yourself.
Do I have to?
No, Peavy, I want your opinion.
When do you want me to speak as a friend or tell you the truth?
Peavy, the truth never hurt anybody. Oh.
Well, I think the water commissioner would make a pleasant type sheriff.
Yeah, you do?
Instead of a 6-shooter, you could carry a water pistol. You'd be very popular with criminals.
Yeah, all right, you have your fun. But the women's club is behind me. Bronco's lining up the junior thinkers. I have absolutely no opposition.
You don't say.
So it has to be a landslide for me.
Hello, Mr. Peavy.
Well, hello, Bronco.
Bronco!
Oh, I thought that was your car parked out front, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, how did things go at the junior thinkers luncheon?
Well, I wanted to be the first to tell you.
Yeah, naturally. Bronco, I just might find an honorary sheriff's badge for you.
I get to go to the ball game.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll all have a lot of fun. Now, when I'm sheriff...
Mr. Gildersleeve, let me finish.
Oh, yeah, proceed, my boy.
Well, I spoke to the junior thinkers, and they don't think much of your chances.
Well, I knew they'd have it. What?
Yeah, well, everything went along fine until they asked what your qualifications were. Yeah, I reminded them of what a fine job you've done in the water department.
Yes, yes.
But they want a crusader.
A crusader?
Yeah. Well, we kicked around a lot of names, and we decided to back a woman for sheriff.
A woman, sheriff? Oh.
Well, they got him in Texas.
Bronco, who's the woman?
Mr. Gildersleeve, the junior thinkers are supporting Mama Hubbard.
Mama Hubbard. You mean the one who operates the drive-ins?
Yeah, we figure she'll make a real two-fisted candidate.
She's quite a woman.
Peavy, you know a woman wouldn't make a better sheriff than I would.
No, I wouldn't say that.
The Great Gildersleeve will be back in just a minute.
68 years ago, May 19th, 1954, The Great Gildersleeve on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
Are you suffering with arthritis or osteoporosis? Do you have diabetes? Did you know that these are just 2 of the hundreds of diseases that have seen improvement with Dr. Wallach's incredible longevity products? You can't get them at a health food store. The only way to get them is to call us at 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065. Do you have heart disease, fibromyalgia, or high blood pressure? Do you have a terrible time losing weight? Dr. Wallach can help. He was a veterinarian and cured diseases in animals. He felt that he could do the same for humans, so he became a physician. Over 50 years of research and helping people like you goes into every bottle of Dr. Wallach's amazing discoveries. Do you want to feel better? Learn how to treat the cause of your problem rather than covering up the symptoms with drugs. Call 800-214-0065. That's 800-214-0065.
We wrap up this week of Classic Radio Theater with an episode of Arch Obler's plays from 83 years ago, May 20th, 1934, Crazy Town. 2 presumably Italian aviators crash after a bombing mission. They find themselves imprisoned in a crazy town. In a community where all men are mad, no one is mad. Edmund O'Brien starring in an episode of Arch Obler's plays coming up tomorrow. But right now we wrap up Willard Waterman as the Great Gildersleeve, 68 years ago, May 19th, 1954.
Well, things were moving along at a very even tenor for the Great Gildersleeve until somebody suggested he run for sheriff. The more he thought about the idea, the better he liked it. It looked like a breeze with no competition. Then a lady candidate appeared on the scene, and his support began to crumble.
You mean Bronco and his junior thinkers aren't going to support you, Unc?
Yeah, they ran out on me, Leroy. Imagine a woman sheriff. She'll have doilies in the cells and ruffled curtains over the bars.
No woman can beat you, Unc.
I'm not worried about that, my boy. The water commissioner is too well known around here.
Well, sure. You can tell everybody if they don't vote for you, you'll cut off their water.
No, my boy.
Miss Gildersleeve!
Yes, Bertie.
I thought you was going to be sheriff.
Oh, I am?
That's not what it says here in the paper.
What's that?
The paper says Mama Hubbard's running against you.
Oh, that doesn't mean she's going to be elected.
Here's her picture right here.
Publicity hound.
Let me see it, Bertie.
There's a strong jaw if I ever saw one.
Oh, brother. A great stone face.
I got a cousin who works in one of her drive-ins. He tells me Mama Hubbard keeps them happy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I hear she runs them with an iron hand.
Yes, sir. They tell me she was a top chick in the wax.
She was?
Yes, sir. Now every morning she lines up all the kitchen help for inspection.
Oh, my goodness.
My cousin was late one morning, so she put him on KP.
Tough.
He didn't mind. KP was his job anyway.
Well, I don't think being a sheriff is a job for a woman. I just might go down and suggest she withdraw.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd be doing her a favor if I pointed out the pitfalls of politics.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she's been a successful drive-in operator. She should stick to her last.
Yes, sir. Tell her to stick to making hot dogs instead of making it hot for the water commissioner.
No, Bertie.
Mr. Gildersleeve, you know what you want her to stick to?
Well.
That's right, making hot dogs instead of making it hot for the water commissioner.
I should have gone home to Mrs. Peavy when I closed the pharmacy, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Well, Peavy, I want Mama Hubbard to see the high-type supporters I have.
Thank you.
Her office is right in back here.
Nice place she's got. I wonder why she wants to play policeman.
Well, we're going to talk her out of it.
I'm here to tell you. I've always felt a woman's place is in the home. At least that's where I try to keep Mrs. Peavy.
Yeah. Step in, Peavy. The girl said to wait for Mama here in the office.
Very well.
Say, there's her picture on the wall.
My, no wonder we won the war.
Hey, careful, Peavy. I hear her coming.
Well, let her come. I'm not afraid of her.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Mrs. Hubbard. Yeah, or is it Miss?
Call me Mama.
Well, Mama. I'm Mr. Gildersleeve.
I know.
And this is my friend and one of my supporters, Mr. Peavy.
Oh, how do you do, Mr. Peavy?
Pleased to meet you, Mama.
If you're backing Mr. Gildersleeve, I won't waste one of my cards on you.
Mrs. Hubbard, Mama, I thought I'd come down for a friendly chat in case we became political opponents.
We are opponents.
Well, perhaps after you've given a little more thought to opposing me, you'll be happy just staying in the hot dog business. The drive-in business.
What's so tough about opposing you? Could you be worse than Okinawa?
But being sheriff doesn't seem quite the job for a woman.
What's the matter with women?
You know, nothing. No, don't misunderstand me. I'm all for them.
Yes, he is. Me too.
What I mean is, the office requires a big executive, somebody with a plan of action.
What are your plans, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, first I plan to get elected.
No. You mean that's as far as you've gone?
Well, first things first. Can't do anything till you get elected.
Well, you must have some plans, don't you, Mr. Gildersleeve?
Well, now, just a minute. I don't tell everything I know.
Well, gentlemen, when I'm elected, I plan to bring about some long-needed reform. I'm going to flush out the law violators like a covey of quail.
She would, too.
I'm going to make the highways and streets in our fair city and county safe for our women and children.
Mrs. Peavy will be glad to hear that.
Well, I plan to...
You haven't a plan, and you know it. Mr. Peavy, why are you supporting Mr. Gildersleeve?
I'm beginning to wonder.
If you'll excuse me, I have to get one more signature to put my name on the ballot.
Mama Hubbard?
Yes?
I'd be proud to put my name on your petition.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I guess I'm going to have to fight for this sheriff's job. I've lost Bronco and his stupid junior thinkers. Even Peavy got carried away. I hope Irene's home. It's about time we have a strategy meeting. Fortunately, I still have the women's club behind me, and they're the biggest organization in town.
Oh, hello, Throckmorton.
Hello, Irene. May I come in?
I have someone here from the women's club.
Yeah, well, I don't want to interrupt. We can talk here in the hall if you have a moment.
Of course.
Yeah, Irene, you remember the sales talk you gave me the other night about running for sheriff?
Well...
The need for a strong, vigorous crusader?
Yes. I tried to phone you about that, but you haven't been in the water department all day.
Oh, well, I take my political job seriously. I've been out electioneering. Yeah, I think I should tell you, though, we've had a little setback.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought we could count on the junior thinkers, but they say they're going to support another candidate.
Throckmorton, if I were you, I'd give up the idea of running for sheriff.
Oh, no, not me. I'm going to fight to the last vote. Now, if you girls would like to call another meeting, I'd like to appear before you and accept your endorsement.
Throckmorton, this hurts me more than it does you.
What?
The women's club has decided to support one of its own members.
You mean Mama Hubbard is one of your members?
Yes.
And you're going to vote for her?
I'm sorry, Throckmorton. You weren't sure you were going to be a candidate, and Mrs. Hubbard is a charter member of the women's club.
What does that have to do with it? That old biddy was a charter member of the Lewis and Clark expedition, but doesn't mean you have to vote for her.
Commissioner, who are you calling an old biddy?
Oop, Mama!
Up, Unc.
You know, I have to go to Mama Hubbard's. The newspapers want a picture of us together, Leroy.
No kidding. You're going to have your picture taken with her?
Well, I can't say no. It's their way of presenting both candidates. Hand me that tie, my boy.
The one with the mermaids on it?
No, the plain black one.
I get it. The voters might not go for a candidate with mermaids hanging around his neck.
Well, I'm afraid they aren't going for me anyway.
Tough, Unc.
Miss Gildersleeve, I got your coat pressed.
All right, coming, Bertie.
How about me shining your shoes before you go?
Thanks. I haven't time.
Miss Gildersleeve, I heard on the radio this morning that the women's club is behind Mama Hubbard.
Yeah, I caught her at Irene's yesterday trying to sew up the votes. What a sneaky thing to do.
Yeah, you thought of it first.
I'm still voting for you, Mr. Gildersleeve.
Bronco says he's voting for you no matter what the junior thinkers do.
Well, that's 3 votes.
Who's the other one?
Me.
Poor Mr. Gildersleeve.
I've got a good notion to withdraw from the race.
Honk. And be the laughing stock of town?
Oh, not necessarily, Leroy. I've been thinking about it. I could just turn this picture to my advantage.
Yeah?
Right, George, I'll do it.
What?
Instead of posing as a candidate, I'll just shake Mama's hand and say, I'm too much of a gentleman to run against a woman in a mudslinging political race.
Nobody can argue with that.
Yes, sir, that'll get me out gracefully. Yeah, I can just see the headlines. Water Commissioner refuses to make political capital at expense of frail woman.
Mama Hubbard is frail?
Well, at least it's a good idea. George, I'd like to be sheriff, but I just don't stand a chance. This is my only way to save face. Just bow out. I wonder if the photographer's here yet.
Hello, Commissioner.
Hello, Joe. Are you going to take the pictures?
Yeah. Wish Mama Hubbard would show up. I have a deadline.
Yeah, she's probably powdering her nose.
Mama Hubbard?
Joe, I think I should tell you, this isn't going to be the kind of picture you came here to take.
Oh?
I've decided the thing for me to do is to leave the field to Mama Hubbard.
Coward.
No. I'm not a coward. You just take a picture of me shaking her hand and wishing her good luck.
Okay. She's going to be a hard-boiled sheriff.
Well, hello, boys.
Hello, Mama.
Mama, why don't you and the commissioner stand right over there by the chair?
All right. You should have been around with your camera last night. I had a press conference and served sandwiches.
Yeah?
I haven't had a chance to clean up the place.
Yeah, well, Mama, if you're ready, we'll stand here by the chair and I'll...
Oh, let me toss these paper plates in the wastebasket. Tidy up for the picture. There we are.
What's the matter?
There's a mouse in the wastepaper basket.
A mouse?
Well, so what? Go down off the chair.
Mr. Gildersleeve, do something!
But
He can't. You've got him around the neck.
Don't worry, Mama. I'll protect you.
Oh, boy, hold it.
What?
That's the picture.
Don't print that!
I may be sheriff after all. Well, Bertie, I guess you noticed that Mama Hubbard has decided not to run for sheriff.
Yes, it looks like you're going to be sheriff after all.
Well, Summerfield needs a man who isn't going to run from a mouse. Right, George, I'm going to clean up things. I'll chase the lawbreakers right across the county line.
Yes, sir.
Bertie, you see this in the paper?
What's that?
Summerfield Bank robbed last night. 2 gunmen still at large.
Uh-oh.
Hey, Unc!
Yes, Leroy?
Sheriff Nicholson's outside. He wants you to be a deputy.
Me?
He knows where those 2 gunmen are hiding out, and he wants you to help bring them in.
Why me?
He says you need the experience.
I've had experience.
Capturing gunmen?
Running the water department, and that's where I'm staying. Good night, folks.
The Great Gildersleeve is played by Willard Waterman and is an NBC Radio Network production. The show is written by John Elliott and Andy White and is transcribed. Included in the cast are Walter Tetley, Lillian Randolph, Kathy Lewis, Dick Crenna, Gail Bonney, Olin Soule, and Dick LeGrand. Musical compositions by Jack Meakin. This is John Easton saying goodnight for the Kraft Foods Company, makers of the famous line of Kraft quality food products. Be sure to listen in next week and every week for the further adventures of the Great Gildersleeve.
From Wednesday, May 19th, 1954, The Great Gildersleeve on Classic Radio Theater. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. Please thank this radio station and support their advertisers. It is their kindness and courtesy that allows us to be with you each and every Thursday when we roll around here. Also, if you miss a day, you don't have to miss a single show. Not only are we available on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Amazon. We're also available at my webpage, classicradio.stream, where you can stream our shows on demand, learn more about classic radio collecting, and contact me there. classicradio.stream. You look at other places, look for Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Have yourself a great day, won't you please, and tell all your friends the great radio shows are right here at this spot on the dial. Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox on your favorite radio station.